I love to see the towns passing by and to ride these rails neath God's blue sky. Let me travel this land from the mountains to the sea, 'cause that's the life I believe He meant for me. And when I'm gone and at my grave you stand, say God called home your rambling man.
Welcome to Ramble Man Podcast, episode number 120. This one's with Joshua Ivester, and we talk about reclaiming older furniture, especially working with wood. It's a great talk. We kind of got all over the place, and it was funny how we started figuring out we went to the same high school. Many years apart, many years apart. I am an old man, but it was good to talk about that. If you would like to follow him online, you can go to his Instagram at atomic_realm. And that's ATOMIC_REALM. Make sure to tell him Ramble Man sent you. I appreciate him for being on. Sponsor this week is Feral Giant. Feral Giant is a graphic design, illustration, and social media consultation company based here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So they do work for clients big and small all over the country, all over the globe, in fact. But they also do photography, videography, video editing, and audio editing, website design, SEO, writing, content development. Hell, they'll babysit your kids if it nets them money. So make sure you give them a follow on social media on either Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn at Feral Giant. And be sure to give them an email today and hire them for your next project. Without much further ado, here's the episode. Are you related to Michelle?
Yeah, that's my mom.
Have we met before at
Probably.
Crown Upholstery?
I did a little bit of work for Crown Upholstery.
Okay.
So
For their Christmas party?
maybe. I don't know if I was at the Christmas party.
Okay.
But my parents were at the Christmas party.
Okay.
So. And
Yeah.
my mom's a part of the neighborhood association
So I've
stuff.
been friends with her on Facebook forever,
Okay.
but she knows my dad.
Okay.
Because my dad has been president of the Alice Bell Spring Hill Neighborhood Association since 1992.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
They all have the same pockets.
holy
They
shit,
all-
how did I not connect those two?
That's
Okay.
pretty cool.
That's
yeah. I mean, she's a huge advocate for,
Yeah.
and helps a lot, makes a lot of posts.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with all the posts, but every time somebody recognizes the name, they know Michelle. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Oh, I am Ronnie's boy to a lot of people.
Ronnie's boy.
Ronnie's boy. And he is also Jody's dad to a lot of
Yeah,
people
there
now.
you
He's
go.
like, man, it's starting to kind of balance out. There's a lot more. You're Jody's dad.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. And I'm like, all right, Dad, come on. Sigur Rós. So they're from Iceland. And this is a thing that I could never get a former boss to understand. I would tell her about how I had friends online. This is pre-social media message board days. And I was like, yeah, I've got friends online in like Australia, Denmark, all over. And she's like, they're not really your friends. You just talk to them online. One of them went to high school with the Sigur Rós guys. And he said, had he known I was going, he could have gotten me backstage.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, I don't think I could have contained myself.
Yeah,
in front of those
that
guys.
little awkward moment. You just
It's like, guys, I'm just going to need to hug you. I know I'm giant and I'm Southern, but I'm going to need to hug you.
I mean, it's weird how we idolize, people like that. We hit like celebrities in general, but we feel close to them. We feel connections to them. So of course,
So, here's a question I've asked on here before. Is there anyone you would meet that you would actually lose your shit? Or you would react in a way? Like my thing is Magic Johnson or Kevin Smith. I would walk up to
Magic
them.
Johnson.
I would walk up to them and say, hey, I'm going to need to hug you and I'm going to cry. and it's just going to happen, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I've loved Magic Johnson since I was a little kid, and Kevin Smith is like my spirit animal. So
Kevin Smith's a wild one, man. Yeah, let me think about that one for a minute.
Okay.
I guess we'll come back around.
Nick Offerman.
I
was going to say Nick Offerman may be one that I do the slap bro tap.
You got a secret handshake already with Nick Offerman? Yeah. That's hilarious.
But I think with him, I would want to sit down and talk to him for like a day.
Oh yeah, he has that crafty show. He's good at everything.
I've read his books where he talks about doing building stuff. He's nuts, man. I don't know why I didn't think of him, but yeah, he is another one that I wouldn't lose my shit, but I would just be like, holy shit, man, this is amazing.
I lose my shit pretty easily. Okay. When I see a piece of furniture, I'm like, oh, so it's like I feel anybody really, Seth Rogen and those guys, of the Adam McKay and I don't know, Paul Rudd, those funny guys, stuff like that. So
I've got one, and you seen that? I've got one for you. I was in Michigan. AIGA is American Institute of Graphic Arts. Okay. So I was the president here for the local chapter, and we had the leadership retreat in Michigan, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And we drove to Rome, Michigan, and toured Herman Miller.
Oh, wow. Heck yeah.
And we toured their art director, Steve, I can never pull his last name, who's won like all these gold medal global awards for graphic design.
Wow.
And he's touring us around, and he came to the bowling alley later when we had a little after party, and he walked in, he's like, hey, Jody, and came up to me. I was like, and somebody's like, holy fuck, Steve? I was like, yeah, he showed me around Herman Miller.
Yeah, he gave me the tour earlier.
But walking around their warehouse, there was just shit. And I was like, can I just grab one of those and put them back in my car?
Yeah, for real, dude. Like, time capsule. Just seeing it all in there.
Even it broken down, I was like, I don't care. I'll just take this. I'll put on a pallet.
It's all inspiring stuff to see, especially in that context. Well, that would be a huge one to Charles and Ray Eames. You just look. What do? You just stand there and you're just starstruck, kind of, sort of.
It was weird. When I was in college, I learned more about Charles Rene McIntosh before I learned about the Eames.
Wow, nice.
Because he did design and furniture design. And his shit is bonkers. Oh, yeah. Like I've told people, I was like, look at his stuff, because his stuff is like 12-foot tall chairs.
Yeah. Once you go down that, I don't know. There's just so much more under the surface than a lot of people know. Through that stuff. So
yeah. Okay. Well, I may already know the answer to this. Where are you? Are you originally from here?
I'm a Knoxvillean. Yeah.
You are a Knoxvillean.
I'm from here.
Okay. Where did you go to high school?
I went to Fulton High School. So.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I went to Fulton High School.
Nice.
Wait. You're much younger than me.
Yeah. Probably a little bit.
Hey, easy.
I'm like 5 or 10 years. I graduated 2009.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think.
But
hell, you may actually know my sister.
Who's your sister?
Stacy Collins. So she is 33 this year.
Okay. Yeah. Stacy, she graduated a year before me, I think.
Okay. Yeah. That's my sister.
Cool. Small world.
Yeah.
My older brother, Stefan, do you know him? He graduated from Fulton also.
What year did he graduate? So I graduated in 96. So I'm older.
It was in the 04 maybe?
Okay.
Because
it was funny because I got to know Jason Hanna from music, and my sister was like, I went to high school with him. I was like, oh, he's a good musician. I like him. She's like, he's an idiot. Lovingly. She was joking.
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that's funny. Yeah, all my dad and uncles and mom, they all went to Fulton.
Did you do the radio?
No, I actually did the print shop.
Nice.
Mr. Miracle still there?
Oh, yeah, I did it.
Oh, did you?
He's a great guy.
He anytime I say his name to people, they're like, Conley Miracle. Yeah. What kind of name? I was like, I don't know.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Mr. Miracle. So it was wild. When I graduated high school between age 19 and 25, I got 6 job offers to teach printing here in town.
Wow.
At Fulton, Oak Ridge, Bearden, Carnes, Farragut, Fulton again.
Wow. Did you take any of them?
No. I wanted to actually learn how to do stuff.
Yeah.
And I was too young. I would have put kids through walls if I would have been up there.
In hindsight, yeah. I mean, gosh.
All right, now did you play any sports or anything like that?
I was kind of a punk in high school. I skateboarded and I did rock climbing and stuff like that. So,
No sports.
No football for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. 2009, they started being good.
Yeah, I mean, for a 3A school, they were on the map. I think they did state champs like 2 or 3 times while I was there, which is pretty good out of 4.
So my freshman year, we were 0-8 freshman team, 1-9 varsity.
Oof.
And it was Coatney's first year.
Wow, Buck Coatney.
Yeah.
So his daughter was a part of my graduation class. Anna,
okay.
So
see, oh God, holy shit!
We were a bunch of AP classes together.
I remember her when she was a little bitty.
I haven't thought about high school in a long time, man. To be honest with you, dog days.
It was wild because I played football, basketball, baseball through shot put. So like Coatney and Robbie Black. Robbie Black was barely out of high school when I went up there.
He's still there. I saw him the other day. Just drove by the school on the way to work.
He has always been the nice. Him and his dad.
They're good people.
Nicest human being.
They're good people.
I don't like hearing that Bob is not doing well.
Yeah.
He was tough on us.
Yeah.
But I still remember one time I had him for gym my freshman year, and I knew who it was. Someone took my lunch money.
Sure.
And I went in to him, and I think I just said, I was like, my lunch money got stolen. He's like, hold on. And he just pulled out money out of his wallet. And he's like, here you go. He's like, it happens.
Yeah.
There you go. Don't worry about it.
Let's not make a scene. Let's just carry on, Yep. That's pretty cool.
He was always, yeah. Oh, my God, Fulton. Yeah.
I mean, good people, so.
Yeah.
And the baseball program's great, too. I did a little bit of the radio for a little while.
Okay.
Russell Mays, I think.
So Russell graduated the year before me.
Really?
He tried to get me to come up there and teach because we'd be right across the hall from one another.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Small world.
It was Mr. Johnson when I was up there. So were they still doing Prevoke?
It sounds familiar.
Prevoke was almost all freshmen took every vocational class for 2 weeks. So I did like upholstery, woodworking, auto mechanics, electrical.
That's awesome.
Radio, TV.
No, they cut that out. There was no electrical, no upholstery. There was wood shop, and it was cool, and I was into it, but it was never pushed me to want to, be more involved with it. Yeah, it just seemed
a lot of kids that probably would be better served going
I think
through
so too.
upholstery.
I think so too.
That's what Wes at Crown and he and Jess were on, and we were talking about that, and he was like, there should be more like trying to get high school kids to get into trades.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I completely agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like upholstery is one of those lost arts that once it's gone, it's gone. Because all the guys that we use, it's like my daddy did it before me, and their daddy, and it's like a second grace job where a lot of people back in the prison systems back then were taught how to do upholstery. I don't know if you guys talked about that, but it's a jailhouse trade, you know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of those guys learned it is in the pen, so. But
we also live in weird times where I think there's a lot of rich people who buy stuff and want to get it fixed, but don't know how to do that.
They don't.
And if that starts going away, then they're screwed. And then you have the other route, which is the Pinterest route, is we'll just paint this thing white and beat it with a chain, and it looks rustic.
Oh, don't get me started on the
air quotes.
Oh
rustic.
Man, it's
there was a class at the salvage shop teaching how to do that. I was like, I don't think there's any teaching to it.
They save money, and they buy their special paint and their special chalk stuff, and they purposely damage and distress wood and really fuck it up.
It makes me laugh.
Well, like now I think it's like now we're taught to, if it's a scratch, just paint over it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will do that. I can't tell you how many pieces I've saved that have been botched or poorly painted or thrown away.
Yeah.
Dumpster. I'm not above it.
Although I keep forgetting to address the elephant in the room. My friends gave me that chair, and the sidearm was a little bit loose. And because I am such a large human, apparently I pushed on it when I sat up, and then I sat down one time and it just collapsed.
It just fell apart. I just start fixing it in the middle of the interview.
No, so I had Wes and Jess, and I had Chrissy Ann, who just started there, and I was asking her, I was talking to her, I was like, stuff like this. This was actually a chair I had before this. And she was like, if it doesn't have sentimental value, probably get rid of it. Because it's not like a historic piece. It's a more modern piece. That
I mean,
it's kind of a piece of shit.
It's like a Lazy Boy, but it's 90s maybe, late 80s, but they, whatever.
Yeah, she was like, if you don't have sentimental value and it's not a historic, it will cost you a fortune.
Even if you do have sentimental value, that's where those hoarding tendencies come in. I have them, like I think I could save everything. That's part of my problem, like, let me fix you.
Let me fix it.
We all need a damaged project, but I don't know, man, you just start to see it now, and you'll know it a mile away if it's worth something or if it's something that somebody else will like. How to be smart about it, evaluate it.
Yeah.
Is there money to be made,
Oh, well, whenever I'm driving, I see stuff on the side of the road, I'm always looking for big pieces of wood to paint.
Okay.
Not paint like a solid color, like do a painting on.
Yeah.
And
just
every time I see
medium,
them, I'm just like, man, that is shitty particle wood.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. I tell you, I've been having a miserable time finding old skateboards. Like I have it. For some reason, like 6 months ago, I was like, I really want to paint on old skateboards.
Okay, I was wondering what all the skateboards are doing. It's cool.
Oh, that was actually part of a charity auction out of L.A. There was a skate park out there that they did. Artists did art on skateboards, and I bid and won that thing.
That's
because
awesome. Heck yeah.
an artist, a designer artist that I know, he did a couple, and I couldn't afford his.
Sure.
I could afford that one.
Yeah, same collection, same charity.
And that one
one's
was
cool.
from a pilot light show where they had like 20 or 30 different artists paint skateboards.
That's awesome.
And
I wonder
I
if
picked up
Steve did
that
that one. That's great. I was going to ask if you painted that one.
I have no idea. And they didn't have any info on it or anything. And I think it was like $20. I was
Steve made a bunch of shirts for the Big Ears thing and like Big Asses, which was pretty cool. And they're just like hand painted pilot light shirts.
Shit.
But it's like, fuck, they're like $25. It's so worth it because, if you rep that 10 years from now, like it's an original, baby, That's
amazing. What did your folks do? We talked about your mom a little bit, but what do your folks do?
They're electricians.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
it's also one of those, I have to remember people are listening.
Yeah. Well, my dad's a general contractor, master electrician, and he's like one of those guys that can do anything, work on cars, and, if something's broken, he's going to fix it, He's, he may need to look at a YouTube video or jog the memory a little bit, but he's super crafty and can literally fix anything. So.
Because we've hit a point to where it's like, man, if you don't do it every day, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. And thank God there are like YouTube videos where it's like, no, it'll take me, like there was something I had to do, like reset a light on my car. Because every 5,000 miles, the maintenance required light comes on because of my oil. And I was like, I've already changed my oil. Like, what the fuck? Damn it. So I always have to pull up the YouTube video because I was like, man, it's some weird, like, turn half, pump the brakes 3 times, hit this button. I was like, man, let me just look at the YouTube video.
You want to bookmark this? I'll see you in 3 months.
Yeah, for future use. Yeah. So did you grow up kind of tagging along?
Always, man. Yeah. I think that's just how it is now. My son does it too. It's like a blue collar thing. It's like if you're working on a project, and if the kid, you can't avoid it. That work comes home with you sometimes. So,
wow.
They bought a house when I was like 12, 13, and it was condemned, and we spent 2 summers.
Awesome.
It took forever. I felt like, every weekend, knocking lathe board out and drywall and like painting and, the kids were there to grunt for the grunt work, like it's like the old farm days.
Yeah.
You have 10 kids and each kid has their own chore. I feel like, so
I ended up when I was real little, I was the flashlight holder for my grandfather a lot.
I still fuck that up. I feel like
I still can't get it right.
I can't get it.
Still can't get it just right. I grew up, my grandfather knew how to do everything, and my uncles knew how to do everything. It skipped on my dad. My dad was a truck driver.
Yeah, nah.
Like, he knew how to do that. He knew how to drive better than anybody else, but, like, I had to replace the sheetrock above my shower, and
I just did it. And my mom was like, I still don't understand. I was like, I hung around Papa all the damn time.
Like,
I was
just did it.
yeah.
know?
I was like, I start working on like the mower engine. She was like, how do you know how to do that? I was like, because I watched him do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and he would show me how to do things.
His
and
confidence.
yeah. Yeah.
We might get
except for
halfway
electrical
there.
work.
Yeah.
Electrical work. I
That's
ain't
the funny
touching.
thing is like a lot of my friends that are buying their first homes or like that they know how to do this
Yeah.
because like for a long time I thought that was going to be my career. I was like I'm going to
Yeah.
go do my journeymanship. Like I'm going to be an electrician. It's good money and it's a great fallback job. Like I still take on side jobs,
Yeah.
But all my friends that know that I do that will hit me up for the weirdest favors because they are all intimidators, scared.
I may be
shitless.
hitting you up.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's great, But
There's little things. So I have an uncle that like when I bought this house and we worked on it and stuff, like he was the main one. Like he was one that in the 90s, his job was when they were switching from Walmart to Super Walmart. Walmart would hire him to go to another state and run a crew to transform it into a Super Walmart.
Whoa.
So he would end up in Texas for like 6 months.
Yeah. It's a big. It's
Or
a big
Florida.
job,
And it was just him. Like it was him. He had to go down there, put together a team.
Yeah,
and
they
make it
trusted him and him only.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of.
But he's also now 75.
Wow.
So with him fixing something is 8 hours, 3 trips, 18 cigarettes, and a
Yep.
lot of bitching at how I'm screwing things up. I'm like, I'm just standing
flashlight holder.
Hell,
yeah.
it's daytime. I don't even need a flashlight. He's still bitching at me. I was like,
Chain smoking, just
it's like,
pissed off.
can we not just, okay. Just tell me what to do. If
Yeah.
you just stand there and tell me what to do, I'll just do it.
That's what I wanted my dad to do. I'm like trying to convince my dad to just be an inspector or just
Yeah.
become the guy that doesn't do any work,
Yeah.
Because it's
God.
hard work, man.
Yeah.
Like even me doing it for 5 years, I was like, I don't want to do this forever. I mean, my back hurts. The up and down the ladders, the
Yeah.
attic work. You're in the attic in the summertime, and it's
Or under the house.
or in the crawl space in the
Yeah.
fucking winter. And it's just conditions
It's
are not
brutal.
perfect.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said earlier, it's like rich people have money,
Yeah.
and they want to hire somebody to do the work that they don't know how to do, and then
Yeah.
it's just a degrading process sometimes. Because
Yeah.
I don't know, or you're in Farragut doing some work, and it's you don't even see the homeowner, and you're there for 3 hours, and then I don't know.
Although I have a new job now, so like my dishwasher is kaput, and I was like, "There's enough electrical in there." Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
the
It
new
is. It was.
dishwashers are scary, right?
I was like, it is so worth the $150 or whatever Lowe's charges to install that for
Sure.
me to not have to. Because I also know I am chronically unlucky. So like I changed out the faucet in my sink in there, and it took me all day. I had to
Yeah.
make 3 trips. I ripped off all the skin on the back of my knuckle. I got it done, and I knew what I
Yeah.
was doing, but whatever can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, you're just like the tortoise in the hare.
Yeah.
But you're the tortoise the whole time. And,
And it's also
second guess yourself the whole
me
time.
trying to hook under that thing to get, because it was weird things of like where the good Lord, I'm gonna get into nerddom here, where the basin comes down, the 2 metal they're not hoses, but the pieces that come down, before they were below the basin, they're not below the basin anymore.
Gotcha.
And I was like, what engineer decided to save 3 cents on copper to make this shorter?
Right.
My big ass hands can't fit in that little. I was getting the little pipes. I was getting so angry. I was like, somebody saved 3 cents.
Yeah,
And
that's so funny. Those engineers, they never do any field work.
No.
They've never put in any. My dad complains about that all the time. You'll
Yeah.
go put an exhaust fan in or hang a ceiling fan or something,
Yeah.
and the parts don't line up, or it's just like
Yeah.
the engineer did it on paper and they never had to put it together. And he'll like you said, 18 cigarettes and just a few curse words later. It's like, then the damn thing's hung.
Yeah.
You just get modern mechanics. I don't know. All the engineers, the engineers need to spend a day out in
Oh,
the
yeah.
field and actually get to hang any of the ceiling lights that they design.
100%. Well, same thing with design. Like when I graduated college, I decided to do my own thing because I had enough work and print brokerage work to where a friend of mine who was still in school, I said, all right, I'm going to start it on like this Monday. I was like, do you want to kind of job shadow me while I'm doing this? He's like, yeah. So we start, and the first thing I do is like, let's get in the car. And he's like, where are we going? And we went to Food City. And I said, we're going to walk around Food City and look at real graphic design. You're looking at like magazines on what the perfect design is.
Right.
You're not going to be doing that.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing
food labels,
cereal
things
boxes
that pop
and,
up, Yeah.
and food labels. And you need to know why it stands out.
Why does it get your attention?
Yep.
Interesting.
And, that's the real shit. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
That sells, That's so true.
Okay, so electrical, skateboarding, we're going through as a kid. Was furniture or art even a thing for you when you were
I feel like my parents were the type that were like, oh, my son's an artist, because I was like, painting, or I was always an abstract artist more than anything, or musician. I got into playing drums at an early age, and was in a high school band and play with other people, because as a drummer, you're always needed. So I could change my style up and stuff like that. I've done some studio stuff, but I never really pushed. I was so tempted to go to art school, and I was talked out of it. And I had friends that went to art school, and they never finished it, or they accrued too much debt. And it just seemed like something like, I don't know. I was really like a renegade kid too, so I was like, I was like, fuck art school. I'll just learn. I'll just read about it, and I'll be an artist. And now it's like, oh, I wish I would have gone to art school, because you don't, it takes a lot of maturity,
time.
The foundation isn't, you need to learn. You just need to do it, It's the Picasso there. You got to go and spend and do your due diligence. You got to serve your time, if you will.
That's what I feel like master's programs are. It's just like 2 years of doing nothing but focusing on your own work.
Yeah.
It's like you're not worrying about anything else. That's all you're...
Yeah.
And you're accruing $80,000 in debt, but you're also just focusing on...
Fine-tune your own stuff, to accrue the debt. I kind of wish I would have gone to art school for sure, but just always had an appreciation for art and design,
But I also think we're at a point to where if you really wanted to do stuff, there are people like the guys at Able Trade that would be like, if you want to come and hang out and learn how to do metalworking, we'll teach you how to do it.
Yeah, like one of the guys I hired, Jake, like he's got an art background too, but half of the battle is just giving a shit,
Yeah.
And to put out your best work output, you have to like what you do. Otherwise, the work will reflect it, So if you don't love your job, it's not going to be good results. Like you're not going to want to be there,
Although, in design, sometimes it's, I'm just making the donuts.
Yeah.
Well, I know I can do these four things and make it look good enough to where I can get paid, and then I can do the shit that I want to do.
100%.
Outside of
100%.
Yeah. It's okay, furniture, art. Do you remember, like, into furniture now, or even as a kid, do you remember something you saw that made you kind of take notice? That you're like, what is going on there?
Oh, I mean, I have an origin story for the furniture stuff for sure.
Go for it.
So I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio for a little while, and I was working kind of a dead-end job with a company called Exotica Retail, which is mostly just eyeglasses and lenses, but their corporate is in Mason, Ohio, and I have an older brother that lived up there, and he kind of convinced me after I turned 21. He was like, you should move up here and work for the company, I'll put you up or whatever. So after doing that and not loving it for a little while, I did a volunteer program for Habitat for Humanity and really liked the organization and thought maybe I could help make a difference in the community, because I lived in a little province called Northside. So I rode my bike everywhere. So it was kind of like cool to work at this nonprofit and ride my bike there, and like everything was low key, but I got put in really quick to architectural salvage, and so I was going into people's homes and demoing like windows and doors, stairwells and wood floors and furniture too, and I started to see the furniture, and some of it was from the 1950s and 1960s, and I was just like so turned on by the design.
Yeah.
And then I remember one day this guy named Blake and we picked up a piece, and he was like, man, I think this is something. At the time it had no relevance, but he's like, I think I have somebody that might be interested in this. So you made a couple phone calls, and we had just picked up the piece for free. It was a donation, And we took it to this guy who was, an art dealer at the time.
I was gonna say, you always know a guy.
Yeah,
there's always
and,
a guy.
I think he paid us like $800 for this dresser. And at the time I was like, whoa, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
$800 for the dresser. And I just helped him load it. So I got like $100 for helping him. But then after that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna look for the thing with the pencil legs, or I'm gonna look for the the Danish modern stuff. But it wasn't at the time. It was so green. I just kind of thought, whoa. So that was around 2013, I guess, 2012. And so after that, I just started seeing it everywhere through Habitat. And then I just started collecting it, like I did my entire loft at the time. And stuff was just, dude, it was just like
piles of furniture.
Yeah, I mean, it was like more abundant back then, and and it was way more abundant before the birth of the internet and stuff. But at the time, if it wasn't mid-century modern, it wasn't quite a trend. It wasn't quite, the collectors were out there, but
the stuff that, because my grandfather went to a lot of yard sales and auctions, and then I would go with him, and then my dad would go with him, and then I would go with my dad, and it was wild because it wasn't until like early 2000s that Dad pointed out, and he's like, that person's a collector. I see him all the time. Yeah. And the stuff they were looking at was like late 1800s pieces.
Yeah.
Like big.
Yeah, super ornate.
Yeah,
shiffer robes and like
shiffer robes. Yeah.
Mind fuck.
To where they're like, they will drive the price on that.
Yeah.
And he would tell me, it's like, if you have your eye set on any of that, you're out.
Do you remember? This was like Dutch Valley Antique Mall, and it was filled with that stuff.
And what's sad is when we first started going there, it was actually kind of affordable for the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Because I bought, so Dad took me, I bought this house, and after Christmas we went to Target, and he bought me a $3 6-foot tree.
Heck.
A 6-foot tree for $3, a fake one.
Yeah,
because it was on sale.
Giant ficus or something.
And bought all kinds of. But we went to Dutch Valley Antique Mall, and I have all these old antique ornaments.
That's so cool, man.
That are like
Christmas tree. Okay, yeah.
That are like ceramic, like the fathers of Christmas, the Norwegian fathers of Christmas.
I mean, they're probably worth a small fortune,
But they were cheap as shit.
Yeah.
Back then. And then I went back a few years later. I was like, why does everything have a 0 on the end of it now?
Yeah,
why is it going nuts?
I don't know. The just estate sales, auctions.
Yeah.
Something happened, man. Something happened, and they became so trendy overnight. Because I used to, my parents have always gone to flea markets, estate sales, and I tagged along, but we didn't have the same style. My parents weren't into mid-century modern. My mom goes into the store sometimes, and she's like, "Can't believe y'all like this shit." We all threw this shit away back in the day, and it's like, you're crazy.
Killing me.
Yeah, you're a lunatic. But I don't know. I mean, we get that a lot, People remember it a little bit differently too. So
it's wild, like records. Like we went to one yard sale, and I'm flipping through their records, and I wanted to find whoever ran the place. Go, y'all are adorable that you think you're going to get $10 for this shitty
it's
album.
Annoying, man.
I was
it
shouldn't be. No,
it's a 50-cent record, and that's the reality of it. A lot of people think that they find, because of the internet, or things are tagged, and I don't know. They just do a quick search, and there's a website called First Dibs, and there's Cherish, and it's like, those are premium dealers that have put their time in, but they're all in Chicago markets, Atlanta, LA, and they inflate the prices of these things that the simpleton, the normal person, that when they Google it, they see the price and they think they want the Lazy Boy for $1,000 or something, and it's like, you're off your fucking rocker, man.
There's a designer friend of mine, Draplin, Aaron James Draplin is his name. He's the guy who created Field Notes.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And he is a big junker. Like him and his dad will go junking. And I told him, I was like, he came to town to do a talk a couple years back. I told him, I was like, next time you come, you got to be here for like 4 days. And I'm going to take you like Jeff City. And places kind of a little bit more out to where it's like you can probably find. It's like we're not going to go to Clinton because everybody knows to go to Clinton.
Yeah,
it's like
they're like the antique mall capital of the whatever.
It's like we're not going to do that, but we're going to go to like Dandridge, and we're going to go some of those places
off the beaten path.
Yeah, because he likes like ephemera, like old
glassware and apothecary type of stuff.
Almost
or...
like mayonnaise jar lids.
Okay.
Because the design.
Oh yeah,
And
like
old
the tin stuff maybe.
Yeah,
and
and
okay.
like old industrial pins and pins. Not.
Oh, then yeah, that's like the gold mine.
I was like,
probably.
that's where we're going to go because a lot of these are like factory towns.
Yeah. There's a freaking Overman factory in Dandridge, and
Yeah.
they were like one of the cool Swedish, Danish, Scandinavian space age mod.
Yeah.
And the I found a pair of chairs out there that were like pristine. This was a few years ago, but it's like you got to go back into the eye of the storm, the eye of the hurricane to get some of that stuff. And no one's looking in Dandridge.
No.
There's like 1,000 pandemic dealers now. In this region alone, and you're all going after the same cool thing that gets popped up on Craigslist or Facebook, but not in Dandridge.
Yeah,
people look at it like that's weird.
Although it's wild going in some of those antique stores and seeing like, why is this so much, and yet this thing over here is not.
Yeah,
I was like, and this is worth 10 times as much as that. Like I was in Mountain City, Tennessee, and was walking through that place, and some of the things I was like, these records are not worth that. And then I would go 10 feet and find more records. I was like, these are all coming home with me.
Yeah, these are worth it. And they're priced right,
Yeah. So weird.
There's certain things you have to look for that get overlooked. Because if it's a studio vessel or a pot or ceramic piece, and you know what to look for, it could be worth a small fortune, or it could be junk. Or, I don't, and you never know. Like you just got to trust your gut on some of that stuff. God, I'm in a group chat with a couple other dealers and collectors all across the country, and there was this pot that this dealer had traded for like a teak credenza. Like imagine a small little weed pot, and you trade it for a badass 10-drawer credenza, and you think you made a good trade. Well, they took that small little weed pot to auction, and I think it sold for like $32,000. And it's like it's trade rape, Like you don't think you're getting a good deal, you know. But some other dealer has schooled you, and it's like, is that your responsibility to teach people what they have? Is it a part of the game, And it's I was like, man, I would jump off a cliff if I traded like that, because you think it's a good deal at the time, You don't even think about it.
Well, that's what kids.
And that could have been purchased for $1 at a bin,
Yeah. And it could also have sat in somebody's house for 40 years and they not know.
No.
It's
there's so many treasures out there.
There's so much, as you can see, there's so much shit I collect. But one of those antique cameras, and I've got over 500 antique cameras.
Really? Okay. Hot tip real quick. So the AmVets. I was there yesterday. Cedar Bluff AmVets.
Yeah.
And my buddy works there, and he said they got a huge shipment of antique cameras coming in.
Okay, this is not coming out. So Cedar Bluff, AmVets.
Pause the tapes. He said Mondays they get shipments in, but I saw them yesterday because they're like the only thrift shop that's open on Sundays, and he said they got tons of old film cameras and cameras coming in. So,
okay,
yeah,
I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
Yeah, hit it.
There was a guy I worked with, or a couple brothers I worked with that worked at Powell Auction.
Yeah.
And anytime they would get any antique cameras, one of the brothers would just box them up and give them to me. So there's one. I think it's that one.
You got to know a guy.
Is a Holiday Brownie. Woo. And I've never seen it before or since. There's one Dad found that was a Boy Scouts official Kodak camera.
Whoa.
And it's from like 1952.
Wow, man.
And he bought it, and he's like, I paid more on this one than I should have. It's $35. And I pulled it up on eBay, and it was like $400 to $500.
Yeah, at least.
And I think it's up to like $800
at that point, it's novelty, but at the same time, put it in a museum,
Yeah.
It's like...
Well, that's the thing with me is I'm never going to sell that.
This is the museum.
Yeah,
this is the museum.
That means so much to me. But it's wild. Like we were do you remember Big Don the costumer?
Oh man, yeah, back in the old city days too.
So his house was right over here up behind Whittle Springs, and they had a big yard sale, like in the late 90s, I think. And they had this glass cabinet full of cameras. It's like $35, $45, $50, and then there was a box next to it with older cameras that it was like the entire box is like $25. Whoa. And I looked at the cameras. I was like, those are all too much. And then I looked in the box. Dad was like, look in the box. I looked in the box. Like, there were better cameras in here. He's like, all right, hold on. And he went and found somebody. He's like, how about I give you $25 for this? And they were like, yeah, that sounds good. And he was like, okay, we're leaving.
Yeah. Okay, we need to get the fuck out of here.
It literally was. We were walking down. It was a box, like a huge box.
It's out of sight, out of mind, man.
Bad?
You know?
Do I feel bad for that?
A little bit.
No. Because you also have $35 cameras here. They're probably worth $5 if you're
right.
lucky.
And I think they
also want to get rid of it too. So that's the other thing. And I'm not reselling it.
My thing is you always give people what they're asking, you know,
Okay.
and that's a respect thing, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a peace of mind thing. And where it starts to get weird is when you start or overcompensating. You know, if someone has it for 50 and you're like, I'll give you 100 for it because you want to get it, then they're on to you, you know.
Yeah.
Because that's how they are now. I feel like any time you see something now and it's been posted for, if it's a good deal, it's been posted for an hour, you got to make the choice. Are you that guy that offers more? You know, but mostly it's like, I'll come right now. You know, got the cash in the hand. You know, and you don't want to be that guy and offer more and screw somebody else out of a good deal. But people will do it. Like the other day, I was going to pick up a dresser and it was like $100, and she's like, "Well, someone just offered me $150," and I was like, "Okay, you go, girl. Take your $150."
Yeah,
I wasn't even mad, you know, because I've been that guy, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't that cool. I knew I could make money on it for 100, but for 150, I was probably like, you know, somebody might really want this, and because the market, they might not be able to go out and spend 500 on it, which would be the resale. So let them have it for 150. Maybe I got some good karma out of it, you know. I don't know, but
there's a lot of times I am the $100 guy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I mean,
man, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll come right now and I'll double your asking price, and then they're like,
but I get screwed over by the 150. That's a better way to look at it.
Or
It's
they
good
just
karma.
like then they Google it. They're like, huh, he offered me double. Let me look up what this is, you know. And now there's a thing called Google Lens where they can reverse image search, I think.
Yeah.
So you can take a picture of a shitty Italian chair that is where, you know, it's just $10 here, but it's $3,000 on Dibs or something, you know. And it's kind of detrimental to the markets, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, you no longer have. That's another thing I've been bemoaning. Or I've been feeling sad for kids now because of music and saying, and it's being shown right now with like Kate Bush and seeing people getting angry about that shit. I'm like, no, I feel bad for the kids now because they don't have the cool uncle or aunt or their older sibling. They're like, hold on, I gotta let you hear this.
Yeah,
and
I have the Kate Bush LP, you know. Let me go get it, you know.
But it's like if you sent somebody a Spotify playlist, they're never going to listen to that shit.
Yeah, probably
because they
not.
have 100 other Spotify playlists they haven't listened to.
It's not the let me make you a mixtape day anymore.
I was like,
that was so personal back in the day,
God.
you know. You like a girl and you make a CD and you write your initials and a heart on it.
There was a lot of time I would do the sly thing of like I would make it and then pick her up in the car and have it playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she'd be like, "Oh, what is this?"
I love all of these songs.
I did good.
You sly son of a bitch. Yeah. That's awesome.
But I think about that. Like, it's hard now to dig and find the cool thing, especially. I think it's because I'm really into records. Like I was in here, although the funniest thing was, I was in Springfield, Missouri. Great record store, amazing record store. Go back to country, flipping through Parton, and they have all the Dolly Parton Porter Wagner albums.
Whoa.
And they're all like $4 to $5 a piece.
Yeah.
And I picked them. I just picked all of them up.
Yeah, totally.
And I walked up there and I handed them the guy, and he was like, "You must really like Dolly." And I was like, "No, it's because where I'm from, you can't find this shit."
Yeah.
And I was like, "And this is amazing. Like, this is a great find." He was like, I was like, "You're not also undercharging for this. This is probably what it should be."
Yeah, this is fair. And but I'm just buying them all because they're amazing and due diligence, you know? Yeah.
But I was like, you would never find
Springfield, Missouri is a cute little, quaint little spot, you know? There's a college there, right? Or something?
Yes.
I don't know. I had a good little time. There was a cool little craft coffee shop and a couple bars, and it was
one of the best donut shops in the country.
I think I actually went to the donut shop too.
Hertz Donuts.
It's like a small little. You walk in like a little tiny.
It's gotten bigger now.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah, because they actually have one in like where else? St. Louis. Like they've expanded now. They've gotten actually bigger.
They had some crazy donuts in
Yes.
there, right? Like crazy flavors and like cereal donut. I don't know.
I may have gone in there and bought like 6 donuts every just housed them. I was like,
Hell yeah. We just did a pit stop there, and I like stopping in cool
Yeah.
little cities like
has
that.
a cool that little square downtown
Yeah, the
was
square
really
is
neat.
really cool.
Yeah.
You know? That's
Uh,
where the coffee shop was that we stopped at.
And there
so
was a cocktail bar called Golden Girls Cocktail Bar.
nice.
And it's like a tiki cocktail bar.
I love a good tiki bar for real.
So here's a fun fact. Did you know there's like 5 speakeasy tiki bars here in town? In people's basements where they've completely built out tiki bars.
Oh, what's the guy's name who wrote the book on it?
Tim.
Tim, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're friends with Allison and Chris.
Yeah, totally.
So Tim and Stephanie, yeah.
Tim Glasner?
Yeah,
Glasner?
Stephanie Romer. So another fun
Super cool.
fact, the house I grew up in on Fairview, that's where they lived and the tiki bar was at.
Wow.
Until they moved out south. Because I knew them through other mutual friends, Dale and Sean Pointner and Mackey.
Dale Mackey, cool.
Yeah. And Stephanie was like, we want to invite you to the tiki bar. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And she sent me the address. I was like, I got there. I was like, you are not going to believe this. This is the house I grew up in. She was like, no way. I was like, I can describe the house.
You like find a secret cubby in
Yeah.
the wall.
Well, no, the funniest was I was like, oh, in this front bedroom, what was the carpet? Because they were talking about everything they redid. I was like, what was the carpet? And they were like, it was this ugly dark blue. I was like, I picked that when I was like 9
You're
years
like-
old. And they're like, oh, shit. But it was like the original flooring in the basement. They had pulled up whatever the person had put on. I was like, oh, that's the flooring when I was here. It's this black and white checkerboard. I was like, no, this is the original
Yeah.
when I was a kid here.
Nice.
And I looking around the house, I was like, man, this place is a lot smaller than I remember.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy too?
Yeah.
Your memory, and you think of it in a different light.
Because like the kitchen was massive when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
it was
No.
holy shit, it is not massive.
Yeah.
Not at all, not in the least.
That's so funny.
Okay, so you get into that furniture when you're up in Ohio. So is there like apprenticeship or schooling or anything for doing this? Or
There is now,
Oh, okay.
and it's definitely, a lot of people are bought. Back then there was a fine line too. A lot of collectors didn't want pieces worked on.
Oh,
There
okay.
was a line of, this is patina, this is aged well over time. These are imperfections. These are things we look for as collectors. Especially in the art world.
Yeah.
But then there's a fine line, I think, with the Pinterest movement and just resell, and having a retail environment for this stuff. It just has to be in good shape. People want to have nice things in their house. And the longevity. You want to put a finish on something so it'll last another 50 years, And that just seals the deal. It's a peace of mind thing for purchasing. So I would just fix this stuff because I was kind of a perfectionist too. Like I had a coffee table, I had a bunch of scratches in it, and I was like, I'm just going to go for it. Like I've worked,
Okay.
I'm a hobbyist, I'm going to sand the top of it. And I'm going to hopefully not fuck it up. And I did, and you fuck up a lot of stuff. You will literally, all I could do is if you have something you love, just don't be afraid to do it. Just go for it, or just practice on a piece that you don't care about at all. Like go to Goodwill and buy a $5 table and learn, how to work on it. And if you accidentally sand through the veneer, or if you accidentally gouge it, then it's okay. There's ways to fix it.
$5.
Yeah. But I've messed up a lot of stuff, to get where I am now.
Yeah.
And that's just that's a learning curve. It takes years to do that. But to answer your question, yeah, I would just find stuff. I would be like, I think I can do this. And I would just get a little bit better every time I did it, until the point where I would do, commissions for friends or somebody would be like, oh, I saw that dining table you did. You did a great job. Can you give me a tip or can I pay you to do it? And I'd be like, cool, I'll start charging for this, And it wasn't until moving back to Knoxville that I was a customer at Mid-Mod Collective.
Okay.
And I had just met Chris and Allison through other mutual friends, and they had like bought a really rare like Herman Miller desk, but it was a little messed up on the top.
Yeah.
And they consulted with me and they're like, do you think you could do it? And I was like, on the inside, I was like panicked. I was like, oh God, no, I don't think I can do it. Like, I think the hardest part was like building the confidence just to do it, cause I had done it. I showed them some pictures of stuff I'd done. And finally they're like, we don't have anything to lose, cause as they were building their business, they were having to find things that were near perfect or, good enough to put in the showroom. And so that's just how the market's changed. We're used to be able to find stuff that was better quality, better construction for less money, and now you're finding less good stuff for more money because the markets have changed, and you know, everything needs work because everything's 65 years old, and you know, eventually, I don't know, something's got to give, you know. So they had to hire somebody, and I was a subcontractor for them for a long time. You know, they would buy a piece, they would call me, I'd come look at it, I'd give them a quote, I'd do it, they would put it in the store, and it would sell. And eventually, it would just became like, I'm there every single day, you know. Can you help me with this, or this thing got busted up, you know? And then there was a couple of Facebook groups. Bob Kennedy, he's out of Arizona, like Mesa, Arizona. He started like a refinishing page, and it started getting a lot of traffic. And then somebody shared that with me, and then, you know, hell, I'm an admin on a couple of refinishing pages now. But it's like, it's just funny to look back in time and see where it all kind of starts. Because now you'll see a piece of wood and you'll know the species, you know, or you'll see a piece of wood and you'll know the color theory. You'll know how to match it, you know. You don't need to restore a whole piece. So it's the same. You can get away if you're good enough to just like redo the top or redo a leg, or, you know.
It was amazing to me at Fulton learning about cutting with or against the grain.
Yeah.
Like that actually fried my brain when I was a kid, because I was like, wait, what is happening?
It makes sense though,
like,
you know?
I was like, I guess that does, but it was just never thought about it.
And it still applies today, you know, sanding with the grains and just getting it right, you know, just learning the right technique. So
although sanding is the worst thing in the, oh God.
It sucks. Especially on a day like today where it's like 95. Feels like 105 in my shop.
Oh, so my friend built me that little lap table thing.
Oh, cool.
And he was like, I will construct it. I am not sanding it. I am not finishing it. I was like, okay. So I was out there, and it was one of those days where it's in like 8 years ago in June, when it would be a little bit crisp and nice in the morning, and then it would get warmer and warmer.
Yeah.
And it was one of those days where I was out there working on it, and then finally I just kept seeing beads of sweat laying. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, beads of sweat in the raw wood.
Yeah.
And you're just like completely compromised it. Today that happened to me. I mean, I was like sanding something, and it was like, I got to get out of here, you know, because the water, I mean, that's bad. It's bad juju. So you can't get water on a raw piece of wood.
So coming up and kind of doing it on your own, did you find that there were a lot of people really willing to share like their knowledge base?
Yeah.
A lot of older people?
Yeah, it's all older people,
Yeah.
you know, and most of it is like a lot of the guys that taught me or I apprenticed under, or I would just shadow. Most of it was just shadowing, you know, especially at the Habitat. You know, it was a bunch of older guys that did it. That's why they kind of brought me along, because I was like one of the younger guys. I was like 22 at the time, 23, you know, and they were like, this guy knows how to do like half of this shit, just because my dad had taught me how to. I was enough to be dangerous at everything too, you know, and they're like, we got to have this guy swinging a hammer, you know, and then they showed me how to do basic woodwork. You use an orbital, and, you know, it's like you said, sanding with the grain and just getting comfortable with fixes. But even those guys didn't know what the hell they were doing, you know. So they taught you enough to be dangerous, then you use that as a stepping stone, you know what I'm saying, to learn it and just fine tune it, you know. And still always fine tuning, always learning, you know?
Oh yeah, never stop learning.
You can't,
because God knows what's next, because you can't refinish the shit from the 80s because it's all crappy metal and glass.
The glam 70s movement, it's like postmodernism, but it's all Hollywood Regency is what they kind of call it too. But it's some of it's tasteful, you know. Some of the glass and chrome is tasteful, and some of it's just whack, you know. It's like somebody's aunt that had too much time and money to play with, and brass and.
Well, I've got a. Oh yeah, it's like my parents' old bed frame was this crazy, ugly, like painted metal to look like brass.
Yeah.
So I was like,
or clamshell this and that, and pinks and light pinks and purple, and I don't know, dude.
Although now they have one like a big wooden headboard that, you know, it's cheap, but I just look at it, I was like, that thing is huge. What the hell, man?
Oversized.
It's like,
barn door.
Yeah. Don't get me started. I actually have my neighbor's
Get your
front
Pinterest
door
board open
back here, because I was like, I'll eventually do a painting or something on that. And he was like, what the fuck are you going to do with my door? I was like, I'll eventually paint or something. I'm not turning it into a table. I'm not there, but I will paint it.
Do you know Asa in town, the painter? She's an older lady. You'll probably see her just like she has some of her art just all over town, and Architectural Antiques sometimes sells some of her pieces. But she paints on all sorts of pieces
Oh,
of
yeah.
wood and windows. I remember when we pulled all the windows out of the house. She was my neighbor when we lived in the house, and we just gave her. She was like, "You want these?" We were like, "What are you gonna do with the windows?" You know? And
Yeah.
she was like, "I'm gonna paint on them." We're like, and they were fucking awesome. She gave me one, and I
Yeah.
had it for 10 years.
That's amazing.
And it broke when we moved to Colorado or something crazy like that. But I don't know. It's just cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, cool art on cool objects like the skateboard thing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I'm with it. So.
Well, I was showing Chelsea, who was just on. I was like, I've started because I'm good at drawing on the computer. I'm not great at drawing by hand, but I will sketch out like my idea.
Yeah, just figurative drawing.
And
You know,
this is what I want to do with the skateboard.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is to make it look like it's dripping, but from beneath. And I'm gonna do some kind of icon. I told her, I was like, originally I was trying to design it, and here's like, I'm just gonna freehand it. I'm gonna do something,
Doodle it.
and make it look. And I was like, and I almost feel like I'd like to do these as a series, like build some kind of
Make a little collection out of them or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I may do is build like a template or a guide for that to make it a little bit easier to paint, because freehanding curves perfectly
yeah.
is freaking nightmare.
You'd have to get the tape out, or I don't know. You know, make
I
a
thought
stencil
about,
or a jig or some sort. You know.
My thought is actually get there's a printer up on Sharps Ridge, Tony Long, Tweak Imaging. It's like get him to print that, and I think he can do laser cut it out on a thicker mill of paper to where I can print over the top of it. I can tack it down and then print over the paint over the top of it.
Yeah, that's a good
Instead.
idea. Yeah.
It's like I know that's not putting enough sweat equity, but it's like
like
smarter, not harder.
Life hack.
I want the thing, how it looks in my head, to come out right.
Right.
I would rather do that.
I wonder if you could like coat it in like a cellophane or some sort of plastic, and then like cut it with like an X-Acto knife, and
Maybe
then
so.
pull the,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and then paint it, and then pull the rest of it off. I don't know.
Because I almost feel like even if I could get just that curve, then I can just keep using that as an example. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you could do like if you were smooth with one brush stroke. You know, you could do it. You know?
I'm not that good. But then again,
There'll
I can
be
always.
some TikToker though that'll
Yeah.
get it.
Oh,
You know, and they'll fucking break the internet. So.
I am stuck on Instagram of sign painting and painting on glass, and I found this dude that he does the trim on a car that he'll just run one thin line.
Oh yeah,
and he
follow
just
that
almost
guy.
like
Yeah.
builds up to.
How
it
do you
just-
have that much paint on your little brush?
And
man?
then he just goes up and he just goes.
That's funny. My girlfriend saw it the other day, and she's like, "What is he doing?" I was like, "No, baby, he's putting a liner on it,
Yeah,
like and it's-
pinstripe,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fucking badass too." And he killed it.
So we'll say we mentioned 70s, so I also have a laundry list of 70s style stuff, because I won't tell who this is just in case. There's somebody opening a 70s theme bar.
Oh, I know about the bar.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, Jocelyn and Ryan doing the okay.
Yes. So I sent them a message. I was like, my dad has a knack for finding shit.
Yeah,
What do you need?
yeah. They
And
needed a Chromecraft table for a long time, but I helped them find the last table.
Awesome.
So they got it.
But Jocelyn gave me a mini list that I need to forward on to Dad. So
Hell
the
yeah.
fun story.
Yeah, I helped them find stuff for Turn
Okay.
Club back when they opened Turn Club. So
the fun story I like telling about Dad is I had some friends who got a CSA, and they're like, "We need a meat grinder," and I was like, "Okay, hey Dad, can you look for a meat grinder?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." He shows, "Hey boy, are you home?" It's like, "Yeah." He comes and brings me a meat grinder. It's like, cool.
asking you shall receive.
Yeah, took it to them. This was like a week later.
Yeah.
And I took it to them, and then a week later he calls me back, and he was like, "Hey boy, you home?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I'll be right there." He brought me a bigger meat grinder.
Oh shit! Upgrade.
He was like, and I took it to
You're
him.
like,
and
I don't
like,
need it anymore, Dad.
Oh shit, like that. A week later, my friends had bought an RV or an Airstream and were fixing it up. They took a year and fixed it up from the ground.
That's what's up.
Oh, I almost chopped off my dude. I helped him install the flooring and almost chopped off my dude's fingers because he was trying to get it
Yeah,
set.
yeah.
And then he said push, and I just went ahead and pushed. He should have counted. But and then like a week later, Dad calls me. "Hey, you home?" "Yeah, I'll be right there." He bought me he found a travel meat grinder. He's like, "Here for their Airstream," and I took it to him, and they're like, "He can stop now.
Yeah.
We need one." We had 3. So I was like, "That's Dad." I was like, "I will." He's retired. He goes to AMVETS. He goes to Carm.
Yeah, but he likes it. You know,
Yeah.
he still wants to keep in touch with all that stuff too.
And he won't be like, I'm going to find this 8-track player for $100. No. I'm going to find one for $8.
Yeah.
And get it. Because
he just puts it in his memory bank, and he knows who needs it.
Oh,
And I do the same thing. I'm like,
so he on Facebook, any cool shit he sees at Carm, he takes photos of it and posts a gallery. And it's usually like glass and stuff.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and because
Can you just hit him up and be like, hey, I want that, and he'll tell you where it's at?
I'll usually look through it and I'll like it, and he's like, all right, that's at this store. You can go there if you want.
That's fascinating.
And he has all kinds of people.
I have thousands of just things I can't buy, but I just want to remember them. And then I look back, I'm like, why did I take a picture of this ugly ass, or like a book or something, and I'm like, what? It's a memento,
That's funny. But yeah, for them, I've got to remember to give him that list of stuff because it was all just weird little things.
Yeah, I like to see it. I like to see it.
Pepper the bar. Because I've been trying to find, just for me, like I want a cool black velvet painting.
Yeah.
But I want one that I like that's not just shitty looking.
Yeah,
that I
not
actually
just old or
Elvis
something
that I actually like.
A Matador.
Even if I have to reframe it. But I haven't found one I
had
like.
a badass one. I have a booth at Retrospect too.
Okay.
So I sell stuff there, mostly
Nice.
vintage clothes and knickknacks, and it's stuff that needs work, but it's a good way for me to unhaul some of my oddities and other cool, whatever. But I put a black velvet painting in it. It was like a seascape, and it was like, and I think they might have bought it, honestly, because it was
That's
like right
awesome.
off their alleyway. But
if I could get the perfect one, have you seen The Shining?
oh yeah,
The scene where Scatman Crothers is sitting there in bed and there's a black woman with the big fro and the boobs hanging out. I was like, that's the one I want.
Yeah,
that
dude.
one's so badass and iconic. That's the one. Okay,
hell yeah.
Have you found some key to diagnosing any issues that you'll need to fix on whether something is, nope, we got to dump it, or yeah, this is solvable? Is there any kind of key, or is it just it's a grade from like 0 to 10?
I'm having trouble understanding the question.
So
Let's
if
see.
like you saw that thing, would it be like, okay, this is like a 3? It's going to cost a lot to fix this.
Oh, sure.
Like,
sure,
is there some key when you're looking at stuff to go, I think this maybe just have to
this
go.
was too long gone, kind of,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah, I mean, so I could show you pictures.
Or
of
I guess
this
not
one.
key, but I mean like almost like a system of your head.
Yeah,
Like an
I mean,
algorithm.
you gotta crunch numbers, you
Yeah.
know, and a lot of it's labor,
Yeah.
and or the cost of materials for us has gone up just like everybody else, So
yeah.
the material, I mean, you'd be surprised, but like the lacquers have gone up, upholstery foam has gone up significantly with the price of oil because it's all all oil product,
It's also weird the random stuff that's gone up.
Oh, but it's just it's a cachet. Like everything has gone up,
Yeah.
and they have it under that blanket of just
Yeah.
inflation. But lumber,
Yeah.
and just with the gas prices going up, all the distribution of everything, because all our products come from Texas or whatever, so that goes up, and it's a domino effect. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody complains about it, but
The funniest
those
thing,
are real things,
So those kitchen matches I use for cigars.
Nice.
And 9 months could not find one in any store.
Yeah.
And I was finally like, I don't know what's happening. And I finally looked on like Walmart. I hadn't looked in Walmart, and I was like, surely to God, Walmart has it.
Yeah.
I hate going to Walmart.
Yeah. We'll not go to Walmart. Last resort,
So I go to Walmart for deodorant and soap and literally that's all I get.
Yeah, totally.
And I leave. And but I looked on their website, and it was like, yes, we have these, and they're like $1 for a 3-pack. I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, so I
looking everywhere, and
then I noticed it said what aisle it was on, and I got to the Walmart and I looked it up again. I was like, let me look and see what aisle that was on, so I can just go in and get the hell out of here. And it was like $10.83, and it was shipping from California. It was a reseller on Walmart.
Nice.
So I walked in there and I was like, it still has the aisle number. So I went to the aisle and I bought those 3 individual on the left. They had 3 packs. I was like, I'm not going to leave any. I mean, no offense to anybody else.
Yeah, but
I've been looking for these for 9 months.
Yeah.
And then my buddy was somewhere and found 3 more packs. And he was like, here you go.
Yeah.
He was like, I was like, man, I don't know what's happening.
Put it out there in the universe.
I was like,
know
but
what I'm
now
saying?
I've got
I'm not
6 of them.
Spending $10 on a fucking box of matches.
On a box of matches.
It's like Amazon and everything too. I canceled my Prime thing after all that weird stuff was going on. It's like I don't want to just give these guys my money. And if I want something hard enough, I'll find it. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like, but
I think the things I get off of Amazon are like, I buy oatmeal in bulk.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
yeah,
just the
whatever,
little,
you know?
the little simple things. Like I bought NyQuil because I thought I had COVID,
sure.
and I was like, I need some NyQuil. And it's been weird, like going to like Walgreens or somewhere and not finding like those are the weird
those
things.
Are
where
true.
it's,
That's true.
Where
Yeah,
it's like all of a sudden,
antihistamines and
yeah,
things like that
it's
that they
just
sell
like
out of.
empty.
You know?
I was like, well, I'm gonna just get it on Amazon. 'cause
Yeah.
I can
It's a
just I
convenient
can have
thing,
it in a few days.
I'm not like.
Yeah.
I don't judge anybody for having an Amazon account, but after a while, I was like, I'm not paying for Prime. You know,
Yeah.
It's the same with having a Costco membership, man. I'm the kind of guy that will go to Three Rivers Market, look
Yeah.
around, be inspired to
Yeah.
cook. I'll buy dinner for the night. I'm not gonna buy 2 weeks worth of groceries. That's crazy.
Well, it's like even with like the records, I go onto the band's website and order them directly from
Yeah,
them or
totally.
Bandcamp or sometimes like I'd rather support them
That's great,
directly,
yeah.
even if it's $4 more.
Yeah.
That's like I'd rather give it
That's
directly
$4 they get probably
Yeah.
that they didn't get
Yeah.
before. That's so true, man. Underwriter for artists especially, you know, like they.
Oh, okay, so we'll go back to: is there something you kind of look at and you can kind of gauge of like?
Yeah. Okay. So you look at the overall quality, cosmetic. You know, is the veneer busted? Because a lot of it, like you said, it's particle board or thin
Yeah.
veneers. A lot of it's not solid wood anymore. They kind of stopped doing that when they mass produce furniture, and that's just the reality of it. I bought a piece recently that had a giant burn, like an iron burn in it. I don't know if you saw that on Instagram, but it's the lady. It was an old lady we bought it from, and she was ironing some clothes, and she'd fallen asleep.
Oh.
She left the iron on
It's
the
not
piece.
a brand, an actual.
Steaming iron, yeah, and she
That's
left it on
amazing.
the top of the piece of this thing, and it's like crusty, burnt, and I just told the partners, I was like, I don't think I can fix this one. Like, I don't think I can get the burn out. You
This
know?
is character.
Yeah, it's not though. I mean, you can bleach it and steam it and sand it.
That's awesome.
I'll send it to you if I didn't already. But I think I posted it on a story, and a lot of people were like, "What the hell happened?" They thought maybe I did it because I steam bend some stuff or steam out scratches. But I'll have to send you a picture of it. It's pretty funny. But you know, it was kind of expensive. It was like $500, and I was just like, guys, I don't think I can save this one, but I can re-veneer the top of it. But that just adds to the money,
Yeah.
like monetarily. Like, how much are we gonna really make on it now? Because the piece of veneer is like $50 to $100, and then I gotta lay that down and color it. But you know, fabrication. I build legs and turn legs in there, or hardware. Sometimes hardware gets changed out. But most of the time, if it's a piece that just needs the top refinished, that's the gold that you're looking for. You know, that's a couple of hours of sweat equity. And if you know how to do it, you can crank it out in a day or two. You know,
Yeah.
And a lot of what I do is that it's like cleaned up.
Also, you're just making me think. I think every piece of furniture I have in here has the little pads on the bottom.
The little pads on the bottom
To make it so it doesn't scratch the floor.
That's great. Yeah.
So that is okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because you can just take Gugon or something and get.
Yeah, it's not too like it won't do it. And it's on the
I don't have
bottom.
anything in here worth shit. So.
I sent the picture of it on Instagram. Just that bad spot. It's so funny. And it's bad. But and it's
Oh, God.
and it's
Oh, God.
and it's coming out, but
Oh my god.
and then there's the whole piece. Pretty good. But the whole piece is in great shape.
Oh god, yeah.
But the piece, needs. I've already spent a couple of hours just on that one spot, so it's like,
God.
and I knew it was going to be a tough one, and we'll still make money on it, but I wouldn't have bought it personally. You can't save them all,
Yeah.
But it's made by Barney Flagg, who designed for Drexel, and it's a cool piece.
Okay.
It's worth saving, and that thing might be worth $2,000, restored.
Yeah.
I think we paid a little bit for it, but I don't know.
Funny that has the iron mark. That's amazing.
It's gnarly.
It's charred.
It's
It is
gnarly. And I have a buddy named Parker. Parker, if you listen to this, fuck you. I'm just kidding. But he's like, you did that, didn't you? He's like, when you could admit that you did that one. He's like, we all know you did that one, because I'll post it. There's hacks to raise steam, scratches up, and you steam them up. And an old man taught me that trick. You know, old steaming iron, and you just get the end of it wet, and you slowly but surely you can lift scratches up. So,
I never thought. Yeah,
there's
wood
cool
is
hacks.
pliable.
Yeah,
so-
totally. Wood fibers are like straws of hay, And if you hit a straw, if you had a bundle of hay and you hit it with a hammer, you would just knock it down. But you can bend that back up.
Yeah.
You can raise those fibers back up.
I'm trying to remember who it was I was talking to. It may have been Josh, or it may have been. I'm trying to remember. It may have been Jonathan, my friend who does woodworking, where I was talking about building something. And they're like, man, that's going to be expensive because wood's expensive right now. I was like, but if you're talking about something that I can have that is sustaining, that you think it should cost $75 to make, and it's $125, I will gladly pay $125.
Yeah, totally,
because it will mean something to me.
And somebody that you like would made it, and it's a personal exchange of goods. Yeah.
Now, if Josh is listening to this, $125 is adorable. Let's add 2 zeros to the end of that.
Yeah. Sure, he's a good woodworker.
Yeah, oh God, he's hilarious.
I didn't realize that he worked at a gas station. I'm going to have to.
I feel like we still, me and him and I interviewing, I still missed a lot of stuff because he was just like not wanting to really get into it on a lot.
He's a
of
hard
that
person
stuff.
to read, I feel
Yeah.
like, and pretty modest when it comes. Like, he went to China for a long time, and I don't know. He's lived some interesting life. I didn't realize some of the
But
stuff
I like
that he
picking
did.
on him because he'll
He's so serious,
Well, he'll have a drink or two and he'll feel a little big in his britches. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, you keep going,
Right.
man.
Yeah. I
Those
see.
are the best people to talk
Oh,
to.
100%. Totally.
Yeah. You can take it. Because I think the first time I didn't know him that well, and I did that, and I watched him kind of turn his head, almost like turning as a dog, like looking at me.
Yeah.
And I just started smiling.
You poked the fire a little bit.
Yeah.
He's probably not used to that, though. I don't know.
Oh, don't tell me that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I will poke the shit.
Yeah.
There's one episode of this, my buddy Hasib and I was like, we talk to each other by yelling at one another.
Oh, yeah.
It is so like aggressive.
Colloquial. That's
So some of the questions I have were submitted to me by someone.
Oh, cool.
And some of these I'm like, do you dig around to find furniture you fix? But you already kind of answered that. But
I'm always looking, man, everywhere. And I bring that, like I said, I bring work home. I'm looking on the internet. I'm looking at estatesales.net. I'm looking at the marketplace yard sales. I'm looking in the background of photos. Like, that's how you find it,
Well, now, if you really need a piece, just tell Dad to look for
Yeah,
it. He'll find
I'll
three.
put Dad's number in the speed dial in here.
Find three of them.
But that's like my mom. God love her. I'm like, Mom, look for mid-century stuff, and she does. She'll find the most mid-century things I've ever seen, but not modern. Not at all.
Okay.
Like borderline 1950s just junk. But it's just like she means well.
So how do you feel about like a lot of these furniture companies now coming out with stuff that looks mid-century?
I mean, that's just the
'Cause
nature
they're
of the
cheaply
beast.
put
Yeah,
together.
and that's kind of how so I'm in the Stephen Schenkels runs the Knoxville Woodworker Guild. And
Okay.
it's this awesome thing that they do every year. But he's been the president of it for a little while. But it's a design group. We talk about the history of woodworking and design. And they recently did a topic on mid-century modern, and our friends are Chris, so they came to Mid-Mod and looked at some pieces, and we all shot the shit, But, they talk about, Eastlake furniture and European blah, 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 and the arts and crafts movement and stuff that I'm not very familiar with. And it's, like, super fascinating to see trends, you know? And so back when in the after Bauhaus movement and in the 40s and 50s when furniture was becoming massively produced, they were just copying other furniture. Like, they were, like, cherry-pick their favorite things from this type of furniture and incorporate it into this and the flair of this. And that's what they're doing now with, but they're just not doing it to the same quality standards,
Yeah.
So you're seeing these weird pieces that have, French provincial meets the Deco movement, but they've got the legs that kind of have the Danish modern, and it's a Frankenstein piece, but people don't know. They recognize it because it's familiar to them, and that's just how furniture is designed, I think. now, and I think maybe with art too, unfortunately, and music, because anybody could be like, oh, that's a bass riff from the,
Well, do you know about Olivia Rodrigo?
Yeah, totally.
Like that whole story about her.
Oh man,
I did a thing during the pandemic where there used to be a radio show, a radio channel in town called Raucous that was only online.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
My friend Rob Travis started it, went during the pandemic because he was
Raucous
bored.
Radio, and they're in North Hills, right? They still do the. Okay, right on.
So he shut it down, but I had a weekly show that was called Porch Sitting every Thursday night. So I was constantly trying to find new music for it. So I would go on YouTube and look at whatever music was trending in the top 50. I would watch the video. Even if it was something I didn't know, didn't matter. And I found all this like Mexican rap music.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I found Olivia Rodrigo a week before she blew up. I watched the video for Driver's License because it was trending upwards.
I mean, think about like the world is such a big place, and like there's so many like I think. Yeah, reggae music is like the world's most popular music, right, or something like that. So it's not something I normally jam in. But
the Mexican rap was wild.
Yeah,
it was a weird rabbit hole to go down.
Or what's Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Finding stuff like that, but finding Olivia Rodrigo and it's like, holy shit, this is good. I was like, it's kind of all over the place. Like it sounds like she's not just trying to be a pop star. She's kind of doing whatever the hell she wants to do.
She's so young too.
I was like, I like that. I like this. And then one by one, it's like, this song is derivative of this. Yeah. This song is derivative. And I'm trying to remember who it was. One of the musicians, God, I can't remember who it was. Oh, it was Elvis Costello.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
That somebody like subtweeted and said, well, this is just a ripoff of Pump It Up. And he was like, and I think his tweet was something like, I don't care. It's a good song. Like, he did not give a shit. I was like, I like Elvis Costello. I already liked him. I like him even more now.
That's what's up. I think like Lana Del Rey got in trouble. Did you remember that with Radiohead or something like that?
I think Radiohead.
And they like sued her for a lot. And maybe won. Shit, I don't remember.
And the Sam Smith, Tom Petty thing, though. The funniest thing was Tom Petty's comment was like, it happens. It's like, just put me on there and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, he did not care. He was like, it happens all the time.
It's fucking music, man.
It's
and the type of fans, the Tom Petty fans aren't getting mad at
no.
I don't know. There's still some harmony there.
Yeah,
but eventually it's going to overlap,
derivative.
right? Everything
derivative.
is going to have to be, God forbid I'd come up with some sort of riff, or something,
One of my favorite bands, my buddy Chris is about 10 years younger than me, and he hit me to this band and he told me about them in 2020. They've been around since like 2014, 2015, called The Midnight. And they're like a synthwave band that they sound like 80s music.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, I was like, all their titles are like 80s titles, like the film Explorers. They have a song called Explorers. Like they have all kinds of stuff like that.
They're playing the niche,
Yeah, they're really leaning into it. But I'm listening to this music, I was like, okay, that's the saxophone from Glenn Frey's You Belong to the City. Like, it's literally, like, I know where everything comes from. They released a new song, and he was like, this is totally Van Halen. So there were some things he didn't know about, and I was like, this is from this.
Yeah.
I was like, if you listen to You Belong to the City by Glenn Frey, that's where they got the name The Midnight. And it's like,
and
you
just did a little work,
I was like, there are like 15 elements in this one song that they've used, but the new song sounds like the Van Halen keyboards.
Totally.
And I was like,
do you get mad?
Don't care. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like the music, because they make it, and it's almost like sampling, where they do it in their own way. I was no, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good evolution.
It's a revision,
an evolution, revision of music. I love it. I was like, and they write good lyrics and who gives a shit? Like,
when I heard the Kate Bush running up the hill thing getting popularized, I guess because Stranger Things or something like that, and then TikTok, I was like, what the hell is going on here? I've already served my Kate Bush time. You know what I'm saying? The world has already done it,
Well, I always laugh at... This is right when TikTok started blowing up is when that dude was riding his skateboard, drinking the ocean spray, listening to Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac?
Fleetwood Mac. And then all of a sudden the members of Fleetwood Mac joined TikTok. Like Mick Fleetwood was riding on a scooter.
Isn't that weird?
Doing it. And then Stevie Nicks was sitting at her piano with like a roller skate and a thing of ocean spray, and she started singing the song. and there were all these comments that who is this old lady singing this song?
Yeah.
I was like, that's hilarious,
dude. That's just the world we live in now. That's the scary part too, because I was like talking about James Brown the other day, and someone didn't know who I was talking about, and I was like, I'm gonna fight you. I'll fight you right in the street, right?
My friend Lindsay, she sent me a message. She was like, I think you're, because I think Lindsay listened to this. Hey, Lindsay, I don't know how old you are. I'm going to say 32. I think you're about 32. And she was like,
30.
It's like, she was like, you are the only person I know that knows who Kate Bush is. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, all of my friends know who Kate Bush is because they're all posting on Facebook like, this is awesome. I can't wait for these kids to hear these other songs.
I mean, hopefully it opens a door, realistically.
But I told her from running the radio show, I was like, you'd be amazed at what people hadn't heard of. Like Sigur Rós, who I think is this huge band. People are like, who the hell are them? And not like people who listen to IVK, like friends of mine who are into music.
Sure. Oh, that still don't know about them?
Still don't know about them. I was like,
they're late. They're late to the game. They're a great band. They're a great band.
Yeah. But yeah, when she said that, I was like, hey, you need new friends,
You're the only one with the... That shit goes deep, though. It's like the Greta Van Fleet getting popularized. And again, that gets people upset. People get really mad. Or they don't give a shit, I guess.
Yeah, they get really mad, and I was like, just YouTube Led Zeppelin, Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah.
And you're good. You're good.
You're literally good.
Yeah.
That was 50 years ago. So.
Yeah. So do you keep places you've found, good pieces, close to your vest?
Yeah, I've sold stuff that I wish I hadn't sold, Definitely.
Oh, no. Places. Like if you found a place in Dandridge that constantly had good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
would you kind of keep that to yourself?
I mean, I don't gatekeep that stuff anymore. Okay. Like today I posted, I'm big into plants too, that's kind of been my thing this year is like, I'm going to keep these plants alive. I'm going to give a shit about these.
Okay.
So I've been going to the nurseries a lot. I'll go to Stanley's or I'll go to Pope's nursery. I found this giant 6-foot fiddly fig. And normally they're like a small fortune, I don't know.
Really?
But this one was $25. So I posted it on my Instagram. I was like, $25, run, don't walk. And I had, 30 people hit me up over that thing. And I don't try to gatekeep that stuff, But I mean, like, there's like little hole in the walls. Like, there's certain Goodwills in town that have better vintage clothing. The racks are full. And there's a Goodwill that has better art because the location of the proximity, and everybody thinks like the Farragut Goodwills are the better good, but it's not. They have
that's on Magnolia or Asheville Highway was always
I
would
gold
always
mine.
find.
So that was next to Holston Hills,
Yeah.
which was a lot of homes built in the 1950s and 60s too, and it was all single family owned.
Yeah.
And back then, if you so many times I've heard this like, it's my mom's table. I hated that shit growing up, so they would just donate it, but it's something really cool,
Yeah.
That was my honey hole for a long time, honestly.
So right now I've not really started this. I want to get a box full of VHS tapes.
Nice.
Because I'm going to start a movie podcast, and I want to do a Patreon. So it's like a free episode, then a Patreon.
Totally.
And here, this is the first time I'm saying this recorded.
Put it out in the universe.
I've only said this to 5 people, and all of them have said it's a good idea. So I'm hoping
you're like a little Blockbuster.
Everybody. If you can do like $5 a month, and you get the bonus episode, and I'll send you a postcard with a recommendation once a month. That's what you get for $5 a month.
Pretty cool.
For $20 a month, you get that, and then once a year, I will send you a box with 12 items in it that I've custom curated just for that person.
Whoa.
And my idea is to take old VHS tapes and paint something on the cover.
That's pretty cool.
That's like a scene from the movie or just something else to where that's a one-of-one piece of art that you get. That doesn't cost me a lot because the whole point of Patreon's actually paying for all the podcasting stuff.
Totally.
But I've thrown that out there to 5 people, and they're like, I would gladly pay to once a year have this weird box
because it's worth
shit.
it,
Weird box of shit. And I was like, it wouldn't be shit. But the VHS tapes, that's
puts
what
the pressure on though, because each person is their own unique individual, and it's
but
gotta
once
be
a
custom.
year, I've got a year to find 12 items.
You're waiting until like November to do everybody's. And
that's what I was saying. I want to get a cavalcade of
shit.
It's like, I guess you're getting a sticker.
You just put all the tapes out and splash paint on all of them.
My big goal is you can do what is it, like stretch goals or whatever on there. It's like, if I get 10 people, I will do a custom like Mondo poster for a film that I'll only make 10 of them, and they only go to my 10 patrons. And my first one
Pretty
is,
cool.
I'm going to go ahead and say this, even though I might get in trouble, is Smokey and the Bandit, an aerial view of just the hood. I'm going to draw it in Illustrator and do custom type for the Smokey and the Bandit.
That's cool, man.
And do like 10 posters of that. It's like
Just
something
hand
that's
sign
like,
each one of them?
that's
Yeah.
like alternative.
No,
yeah.
I mean, you've got the idea, and you run it. That's all I can say.
It's like I'm going to have to start hitting places to find shit to put into the boxes.
Yeah, VHS is tough. That's a tough one because a lot of new age places like Carm, they're not going to carry them anymore because they're starting to realize that. And same with CDs. Like how many times have you gone to a thrift store and there's that empty corner and they're all busted and it's just a wreck, in disarray, and they don't want to fool with it anymore.
Well, I'm hoping maybe I can come upon a bunch of laser discs for not that much money.
Hell yeah!
And there is a place in town where I almost don't want to sell them out that he has laser discs.
Yeah.
And they're hidden away, and I don't think they're that expensive.
Yeah.
So I know
keep it like a secret. Man.
Yeah, I know that guy a little bit enough to be like, can I just come and dig, and I will buy a ton of them.
Oh, it's good to know. I'll hit you up if I see anything like that. There's Justin, I think. I don't know. Do you know French Fry Vintage? April? And,
I don't know. I've got friends that are friends
He's
with
got
him.
a booth, and he collects VHS, and he's got some great stuff in there. And it's all super fair. Anytime I see cool VHS, I grab them, and I think I'll give them to him. Because normally, like, people just will, for free, just take them.
Just take them.
Just take them,
Yeah.
and they're really collectible. I mean, for that. For the right person.
I've gone back to, I actually this is a discussion I think I had with Chelsea, or I had it with my buddy Sean the other day, where I was like, man, we live in this world where everybody thinks everything's accessible because of the internet. It is not even close. Because I was talking about, there's a band I like, Calixico.
Yeah, cool band.
That they have a song that their version on the album is good, but they did like an KEXP in studio acoustic that is so much better.
Yeah.
The only place that MP3 lives is on that hard drive. I think
you have an NFT of the audio file.
I should NFT.
Hey,
but it was like posted on a music blog in like 2005.
Sure.
And I loved it, so I downloaded it.
Yeah.
You can't find it on Spotify. You
can't
find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like, I almost want to
hit them up,
contact them, and say, I have this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, but please.
Because they don't probably,
remaster whatever you got to do to this and put it up as a single. Make a 45 of it.
Yeah. There's so many. Like, my buddy Ethan is a record collector too. He'd be like, have you seen this 6-inch? I'm like, where the fuck did you find that? Also, that's amazing,
So Dad, when I was a kid, there was an ELO album that had a mobile that you could, and he got it and put it together, and it was of a spaceship, and it hung above my bed. So he was in Lost and Found digging around, and there was some younger guy next to him that was, I think, younger than me, and the guy was digging through, and he lifted that up, and Dad said, that one's pretty awesome, but the thing is, you'll never find it with the mobile still in it. And the guy reached in and pulled it out, and he looked at me, and he looked at the guy, and he said, you got kids? And the guy was like, yeah. And he's like, buy that, put that together, put it above your kid's bed. And the guy bought it. And he was like, that's what I did for my son when I was.
Awesome. If somebody told me to do that and I was at a record shop, there was no brainer. I would buy it in a heartbeat. Or I'd start looking on eBay and be like, what the? Yeah, I got kids. I got like 10 kids.
I gotta feed them.
And I got to feed every single one of those kids.
My uncle started going through his old like Chicago albums, and they had like 6 foot by 8 foot posters in them.
That's awesome.
And he pulled it out.
And no one dug those out, probably,
Okay.
That's so true, man.
What do you know the most, although we may have already talked about it with the iron, the most tedious piece you've ever worked on?
Okay, when I first started working for MidMod, they had hired me to refinish a George Nelson Primavera cabinet. And it's just, there's nothing to it. It's a big square, and it had these little ebonized legs on it. But someone had painted the whole cabinet white, and then probably painted in the 70s. This piece was from the 50s. So they probably painted it in the 70s, and then somebody had painted over that or put a glaze on it. And so, like, you could see as you're starting to strip this piece all the different like lives that it lived. You know, it was white, and then it was cream, and then someone had tried to like put wood grain. They had like faux wood grain painted brown stripes on it, and that was under another brown coat. Because I was looking at it and I was like, this looks like it could be original finish because it was so just unique at the time. And I remember stripping it, and it was just a nightmare because someone had used an oil-based paint, or it was automotive paint, and they had painted the insides of it. And finally, we sent it to Kadir. He is Knox Free Finishing. I like Middlebrook Pike, and he has a dip tank. Yeah, and they dipped it for us. And then after he stripped most of the exterior part, I was able to sand it and get it back going. But I mean, I stripped that thing probably 20 times, just with methylene chloride, and it wouldn't do anything to it. Like I got 2 out of 10 layers off of it. But the thing was, the cabinet was a piece of history, It's a really rare cabinet. We didn't know what to expect, and I was in way over my head. Like, I don't think I made much on that one.
I would have never thought about a dip tank.
A dip tank, man. Those things are legit too. Most of them are for chairs, but this piece, he was able to get it dipped. So, and I think it still cost us like $500 to dip it.
Oh God, I can't. Yeah, I
can't
imagine.
So that was like a huge, wind out of your sails. $500 to even get it raw, so that I could begin to finish it, build up the finish on it. So,
oh my God. So what is something you would classify as beyond help? Like if you got through all that and it still didn't.
Well, that one's cool enough to save.
Okay.
So like that one, I wouldn't have written that one. I mean, if it would have been my money personally, I probably wouldn't have bought it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have $500 on a gamble. Because most of the time people paint pieces because they have ruined them.
Oh yeah.
And realistically, that's why is it painted? Why is it on the side of the road? Does it have bed bugs?
Oh yeah.
Why is it out here? You got to ask yourself, like, why did somebody get rid of it? If it looks too good to be true, why? But that's always my biggest fear. I tell friends that. They send me a picture like, this is an amazing piece. This got paint. I'm like, well, you got to ask yourself, are you ready to accept what's under the paint?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like most of the time, if a piece has been sanded through, like the veneer's missing, then you can't do much. If it's like a small corner or a spot where you can grain paint and then color like glaze and tone over that to hide it, if your eye doesn't, like if you look at a piece and you see if it's like a dark walnut piece and your eye goes where the light parts are, not the dark parts. So if you can blend it a little bit, but if it's through the wood, you just see that nasty particle under it. There's no way to really save it,
Okay. And here I swear we're coming around towards we're getting there.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten into interior design at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I helped a few friends shoot a music video. I love to stage. I staged the website for us a lot, and I staged the store pretty frequently. So it just seemed like the movement. Everybody was getting into interior design. Yeah. Everybody wants to be a designer. I've never fully dipped my toes in it, but I think my house is styled well, and I think I know what looks good. So I help a lot of my friends find stuff. Even if it's not my cup of tea, I still help people
find stuff. Mine is all function. As you can see in this room, it is all function.
Yeah, and
I need more bookcases.
Totally. Everybody needs more bookcases. But yeah, people all the time, they'll, or when I did electrical work too, I was in people's homes, and that's an intimate environment. It's someone's home, and then you just see what they like, and you're a shopper for them, which is most interior designers anyways. They find the right pieces for the aspect ratio or for the house. Or
the weird thing, like this couch was my uncle's, and he passed away. And I like it because it's big enough for me.
Totally.
But a big reason I've kept it is because I've never found anything that I liked better than just this works.
There you go.
And I have looked at all kinds of stuff. I was like, no, I don't like the thin legs. I'm too big of a dude. Yeah. I need it solid.
A lot of mid-century stuff sits low, and a lot of it's thin cushion,
or the little thin legs that are at an angle. I was like, that's. I'm sorry. I am much heavier than most people in the 60s. So
it's crazy talking about anatomy of bodies too, because people have grown. Hormone growth. People are taller now. People are grown.
Yeah, the low furniture is wild. Do you set goals or a checklist, or do you know what you'd like to do in the next 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have my own open gallery or showroom. A cooperative space for artists and for interior design. Absolutely, I would love to design with my electrical background and my woodworking background. I love to design like thin paper lamps or wood lighting.
Yeah.
I've made a few lights before. I've made a few lamps. I've made a few pieces of furniture, but I'd like to really feel inspired enough to do my own thing, you know. But
I actually have somewhere drawn a headboard that I designed that I told a buddy of mine. I was like, the main reason I want to do this is because I want to build an electrical box into it to where I can charge my damn phone.
that's awesome.
That it is flat and flush.
Yeah.
To where you can't see it really. But
Right.
I was like, because I'm tired of having to have a cord extend or
I mean,
whatever.
a lot of like contemporary hotels and stuff have that stuff built in, you know.
Sorry for the cheap piece of Amazon furniture, but that one has one in the back.
Really? Yeah. And it's just it's better, you know. It's more efficient, and you can utilize it, and it just makes sense to do that. Some of the Herman Miller stuff that I've worked on has outlets built into.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, it was state of the art back then, you know.
Oh yeah.
So they have a cord that runs to it and it plugs to the wall, and that way you don't have a cord going over the desktop.
Yeah.
You know? There's a roll top desk that has a plug in the back and just in a little opening on the bottom for your cord to go through for your desktop or whatever at the time.
For your
you know?
lamp or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. I don't know. Design with that in mind. I don't know.
Do you have anyone that you would like to work with? Probably tons. But
Yeah, there's tons of people. Oh, for sure. And like there's like Sam Malouf's family has taken on his organization, and they still design and build furniture.
Okay.
And George Nakashima's family still, you know, his daughter is still heavy into, you know, his contracts and appraises pieces and authenticates things. It'd be amazing to work with them in the future, you know, but that's not realistic. So, but as far as like locally,
you never know.
You know, the Able Trade guys are good. I'd love to work with them a little bit more. It's fun to talk finishes. A lot of these woodworker guys, like, they can build and construct something, but when it comes to finishes, sometimes they don't get color. They don't get color theory, or they don't know what's the best finish for the piece, and you just gotta. The setting for each piece is different, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, what's higher traffic. You know, a bar top needs a different finish. You know, a coffee table needs a different finish.
Yeah.
You know, a lamp nightstand needs a different. You know, but it's all relative. You know, and different guys like different finishes, but.
While you say that, I'm going to look up my friend Hannah because I want to show you. There's somebody she is friends with that they work for a taco place out of Cleveland that has like 20 shops across Ohio.
Whoa.
That her job is artistic director, to where she hires artists to do murals.
That's pretty cool.
Inside. And it is full on art. But Hannah just did the bar top. And I told her, I was like, I want you to do this as a thing for me. Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'll send you the link. Here, I'll just send it this way. There you go. I told her, I was like, you ought to do this because it's like very bright artwork.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
On
on plywood.
Dark
plywood, yeah.
Yeah, dark stained wood. Like, I like that look of the brightness versus.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool.
That's kind of like a neo-traditional. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But I think she should do that as actual, like, art pieces sell, like 12 by 18 or something.
Did you ever get into Panhandle Slim stuff like that? Or I don't know if you know the artists or whatever.
No, Panhandle Slim.
But he it was like, I think you'd probably recognize it, but he would paint on pieces of wood, and normally he would paint like old musicians, and then like write a little quote or like a little excerpt.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to the, like, early Yeehaw printing days and type of Yeehaw.
Do you know Ryan Blair here in town?
I feel like I do. Who is that?
Yeah, look him up. Ryan Blair Art, I think. He does in kind of this vein, but he does like metalworking and stuff. Let's see if I can find him.
Max Tennessee. I just started following him. Somebody told me about this guy a while back.
Yeah, Ryan Blair
Pretty
Art.
cool. Pretty cool.
Like, his work is really interesting.
That's what it reminds me of. You know, it's like the bright colors on the raw medium or whatever. You know, like that's an old Royal Crown basket. You know, that's pretty cool. Or like the was pretty cool.
Okay, so is there any museum or magazine where you'd like to see your work published? Are there magazines and such for this kind of thing?
I mean, yeah, there's like Dwell magazine, and there's
Garden and Gun.
yeah.
I love Garden and Gun.
Heck yeah, man. There probably is. I don't know a whole lot about some of the
Would
literature.
you rather see it in use, like friends actually
Yeah,
use it?
I think that's more of my thing. You know, I'd love to have a gallery of my furniture, but I don't know. Something about saving these like one-of-a-kind pieces from the grave is like my art outlet, you know?
Okay.
And it always has been kind of like how I get that out of my system, you know. It's because I can't afford a George Nakashima table, you know.
Yeah.
But based on my following, like I have had clients hit me up, and you know, some are in Las Vegas, like, hey, come out to Vegas for 2 weeks, I'll put you up, you know, or hey, come to Miami and refinish this table for me, you know, all this crazy stuff. Or like, if you want to come out to LA, you know, we'd love to have you. You know, it's like I want to come so bad, I really do. I know that I could have a job a lot of places, and I have a great network now, and I have great friends that do this as well. You know, we're all in it. You know, we all blood and sweat and tears, and you know, we share a lot of horror stories, and that's why we're in this group that we're in.
Well, and it's also like amplifying this as a art form and as a job.
Yeah,
that most people don't know.
It's a lost art of a job. You know, it's not pretty. It's I call it the unglamorous side of because the showroom is pristine, you know, and everything looks brand new. And people will come in all the time. They're like, "I thought these were old pieces," you know, and like these are old pieces, you know.
Yeah.
They're just made to look like new again, you know. And I like to not take like that fine line of purity. We're refinishing it, restoring it to be like factory finish, just as it was intended to air on the showroom. You know, in the 1950s or 60s, that's the same experience we want you to have, you know?
Yeah.
Damn, this is nice. You know, I'm an adult and I want to buy a nice piece of furniture, and this is something that I'm going to give my kids one day, or something that I want to, it tells a story, you know? Because I think with the maker movement and just people, there was like a point in time where no one cared, and it seemed like everything is disposable society. You know, I've got this cool IKEA table and I'm going to move and I'm going to throw it away, you know, or whatever. But now it's like people want to put cool stuff in their house, and they want it, you know, they want to know why they have it. They want to know the story. My friend Kirk Albert, who's a dealer in Seattle, he says it's not the piece, it's the story that sells the piece, you know. And for a lot of collectors, people that have that kind of money, they get it. They want to know, you know.
This candy dish came from Japan. I've been saying Korea, but it came from Japan. When may have been even when my grandfather served in the military.
Damn.
Like this was my grandparents.
Yeah.
And that means
That's
I
awesome.
don't know if it's worth. I don't give a shit if it's worth
it's worth
anything.
something though. I mean,
worth something to me.
but more than that, it's worth something to you.
Yeah.
You know.
Is there anything we missed before I let you go?
We talked a little bit about
in hour 4.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just having a good conversation.
No, I've had some going for 6 hours, so no, that's fine. So is there anything we missed?
No, I mean, like, I'm not working on anything personally right now that I would hope to put in a gallery one day.
Okay.
You know, and that's not my focus right now. You know, people do ask me for commissions. They're like, could you make me a table? Like, that's not my cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one day I would have a wood shop where I'm like completely fabricating everything from scratch, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm turning boards, or, you know, like there's just so much to learn, you know? But right now I love saving all this badass furniture from the 1950s. It gets me off. It makes me feel like I'm saving this stuff, you know? It's my brush with it. I can't afford it, you know? And it's my art outlet, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else that...
Did you ever come upon a name that you would freak out about if you met?
Oh shit! Like a real life, past or present?
No, they'd have to be alive.
They got to be alive.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just like completely. I don't know. No.
Okay.
Not really.
It's funny because there's one guy I consider a friend that is Draplin, who is huge.
Yeah.
That my friends are like, holy shit, dude. I was like, yeah. I was like, because I met him before he was somebody.
Yeah, before he was big.
Yeah. And there have been a few other people that I've met that I've been like, I was like, oh, yeah, that time that I got hugged by Chip Kidd, Chip Kidd and Draplin are probably both in the top 5 of most well-known designers in the world.
Whoa.
And Chip Kidd, I was at a conference and I ran to him in a hotel lobby. I was like, hey, man, you're Chip Kidd. He was like, I am. And I was like, dude, a big fan. And we just, nicest guy in the world, start talking. And then later on at that same conference, Draplin was speaking. He wasn't big. He was in a smaller room. Chip Kidd came in and sat right next to me. He's like, oh, hey. And he came in and sat next to me. And same thing with Steve, the guy, Herman Miller. I dropped his name somewhere and they're like, holy fuck, you know him? I was
That's
like,
amazing.
At the end of the day, still a dude, still a person.
Still a person. I don't know. Yeah. And like, I'm trying to think of like musicians.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just want to treat someone.
Chad Kroger.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's an easy layup.
Look at this graph.
I was here's where I will make
There's
you
a time and a place.
leave in a huff. Early 2000s, Civic Coliseum, 3 bands. Theory of a Dead Man.
Oh God.
I will not tell you the second band. Second band got booed off stage. They were terrible. I liked them. They were terrible.
Are they a local band?
No. And then Nickelback. And Nickelback was great.
Yeah, they crushed
because they were
it.
just a rock band.
Theory of a Dead Man. Who's the other band? Saliva?
Clutch.
Clutch. Oh.
Clutch is amazing.
Clutch.
Sucked.
Yeah.
They sucked that.
Are they a Christian band?
No, God, no. God, no.
No?
No.
No.
And Nickelback was, and I still contend, here's my biggest hot take. If AC/DC came out in 2001, people would shit on them like they shit on Nickelback.
Oh, yeah. Somebody said, what's the most overrated band the other day? And I wrote AC/DC.
Oh, man, I love AC/DC, but I grew up with it.
I mean, there's a time and a place for it, right?
Yeah, but that's and everybody's like, no. I'm like, bullshit. It's stripper music.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like, it is, and no offense to strippers,
yeah.
But people, the way people shit on Nickelback,
Theory
people
of a Dead
would,
Man.
Theory
That
of a
is
Dead
hilarious. Have you seen some of these, like, it's like reunion festival, but it's like there was that big emo one that came out.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, no, God, no. These bands need to go back into hiding like they were. But people were eating it up. They were like, we want to see Evanescence and Theory of a Dead Man. It's like, do you really, though?
What kills me, although I would say some of the 80s bands have nailed it, like there's 80s bands, it'll be like 6 bands on a tour. And what they do is they'll come out and they'll do like 4 songs.
Yeah.
Because they have 4 songs
The 4
that
singles,
you love.
yeah, 4 hits.
And that's it.
Just play
and then
the
they go
hits,
off. They ain't playing no new shit.
That's what they should do.
They're doing, and it's like orchestration or OMD, orchestral movement in the dark. They had like you leave, like
that band is awesome.
Yeah,
you know?
Tainted Love, that
Soft Cell or whatever.
Soft Cell. It's those kind of bands where they come out and they play 3 or 4 songs they crush.
Yeah,
and that's all they play.
God, I would love to see orchestral maneuvers.
So out in LA,
would
they have
perfect.
those shows where there's those reunion shows where it's 6 or 7 bands.
That sounds badass.
Yeah,
honestly.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's an obscure band though.
These
unless you don't
younger
know.
bands should do that. Just
The
come
dark
out and
wave
play the
stuff.
3 or 4 songs people know. Although a lot of them, they couldn't play the one song people know.
I saw Puddle of Mud play recently, and someone TikToked it, and it was bad.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, Puddle of Mud.
What was it? Smash Mouth. Somebody where he got drunk and went crazy on stage.
Face, yeah.
And it was like, oh God. Where at least
But they played like 20 songs.
Yeah.
It seemed like.
Yeah. Where at least like, here's somebody I like 1 or 2 songs, but I could give or take everything else. But I bet it would be a fun show. Is Bare Naked Ladies?
Oh, totally.
I bet Bare Naked Ladies.
They have some
because they're
crazy
funny
fans,
people,
too.
and they're funny people. Like I've seen them on shows and stuff, and they're funny.
Yeah, they are intellect. You know, they
I
have
was
good
like-
conversation.
I was like, I like 1 song.
I
And
couldn't name a song. It's that one.
I'm
though.
going to sound like a hipster when I say this, but there's an older song that they had called "The Old Apartment" that's very good. That it actually came on the Mac OS disc as an example of what QuickTime could do.
Wow.
And it is a very good song. But all the chickadee china, I can't do that. No. But they've had a couple ballads. Anyway,
and the fans love my old boss Leslie was a huge Bare Naked Ladies fan.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anything about it.
I never thought we would end on Bare Naked Lady on a green. The Bare Naked
Rack
Ladies.
to revel. It's
probably a fun show.
Probably a good show. Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.